Went for a ride last night and someone told me my taillight was out. And it just so happens I have an LED taillight that was sitting on my workbench. So I was hoping to do that at the same time that I did this fender eliminator that I'm going to get to eventually here, but I need to go ahead and do that today. So let's do this LED taillight swap. Go ahead and pull the seat off. So key in there, give it a turn, and we're going to pull up at the seat at the same time. We're going to be removing a few things here. So first of all, we're going to pop these little Allen key bolts out. Same on the other side. And then I'll get to removing that in a second. Pop right off with some push pins. Just like that. You've got one at the back, one in the front there, and then the holder from the other bolt. We're going to expose one 12mm bolt here, and then we're going to pop these off as well. So grab your guns. Before we pull this whole tail section off, we're going to go down here and you get those bolts right there, one here, one on the other side. So just like that, we can pull the entire tail end off and make sure we disconnect the taillight harness, which is over here. And I've realized that somehow mine has worked itself free, which is probably why my light came off. So I've already got the bike off here like this. I'm just going to go ahead and do the light since I've got the LED anyway. So here you go, you can see we've got the tail off, and it's just those two Phillips head screws holding in the tail light itself. So let's pop those off, and then we're going to run the wiring on the LED light, the same as the tail section here. Okay, so I've got the light in the frame there, but since the wiring on that light and the wiring on the original light are different colors, we've got black, blue, and yellow, and then black, red, and green. I need to figure out which one is which so I can splice the harness. And what I'm doing is I've just hooked it up to my bench. Black in these cases is always almost always negative. So right now I'm touching the black and the yellow, and we've got bright. So that's the brake light most likely. Let me try the black and the blue. And we've got a weaker light there. So that's the on light, the running light, and the brake light. All right, so that means what's going to happen here if I use the aftermarket light. I know you can't see it here, but I'm just going to do it for myself to see. Black and red gives me running light, which means blue and red are going to go together, and green and yellow are going to go together. So this is where you have to make a decision for yourself, because they don't sell these adapters. So you need to decide if you want to try and splice into the wiring on the bike somehow, or just cut this adapter and put that on the new taillight, which is what I'm going to do, because I figure worst case scenario, if I can't for some reason splice it back if I need this light, I'll just buy a new one. Probably a lot of these floating around cheap. So I'm just going to go ahead and snip that off. Give myself as much to work with as possible. So let's open this up a bit. And snip. And there we go. So, didn't give myself a whole lot to work with there, but whatever. I'm going to now splice this onto the new one, and I'm going to use these heat shrink connectors, which I don't know, you may have seen in some of my other videos, but they're pretty awesome. Comes in a whole lot of different gauges. I'll link this in the description, but all I have to do is strip this wire back a little bit, slide one of these on, and then slide the other one on. Use a heat gun, it's going to melt it all together and pretty much crimp it. That'll be great. Okay, so let's strip these wires and I'll get to the heat gun. Alright, watch this. Slide one of these on there. Slide the wire in just like that. Make sure they're touching the silver. We'll go ahead and give that some heat. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, so I'm going to do those for the other two. I'll have a good harness built and I can put it on the bike. I've built the harness, as you can see there. I'm just going to go ahead, plug it in and test it. And then we'll get to the signal wires a little bit later, but let's just do this for now. So give it some power. I'm going to need 2 hands for this. So that works. And the brakes work too. Great. So that's going to work. Now, you can see there's 2 more wires here, and that's for the left and right signals, because this is an integrated tail light with signal left and right. But I'm going to hook these up when I do my LED signals front and back. So I'm not going to worry about them now. I'll cover them in a later video. But I think it's going to be as simple as hooking this, splicing this into the positives for the signals. Very easy to do. We'll get there when we get there. All right, there it is. Nice clean LED taillight installed. Gonna be hooking up the signal halves of that later on when I do the fender delete and change everything else over to LED. Can't wait for that. But if you like what you saw, go ahead, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.